Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the Mixed Concepts channel for another ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 chat. So another tri-series has come to an end. This time the tri-series was in Canada, which involved Canada, USA, and the Netherlands. So yeah, obviously if you've viewed my videos before, you know I'm a USA cricket fan. And if you're watching the video based on the title, yes, the US officially have ended in the top 4 of ICC Cricket World Cup League 2. They're guaranteed a top 4 spot, and the significance of that is they automatically qualify for the 2027 ODI World Cup Qualifier. So that's great news because the last time USA were in the ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 cycle, they did not end in the qualifier directly. They had to play in the qualifier playoff and end in the top 2 spots there to advance to the Cricket World Cup Qualifier for the 2023 ODI World Cup. They managed to do that, but in 2023, in the qualifier, they didn't perform well. They lost every game they played, and they were the bottom team. But that was 3 years ago, as of the time I'm making this video. So that was quite some time back, and the team has changed a lot since 2023. So could have more hope for 2027. Hopefully, they can finally end in the top 4 of the 10 teams in the ODI Cricket World Cup qualifier, which would mean that they could make the 2027 Cricket World Cup. But coming back to this tri-series, so USA, they managed to get 5 points from this tri-series, a much better performance compared to the previous tri-series in Nepal, where they played Nepal and Scotland and could only pick up 2 points. However, there are still a few issues with this US team, and that is their bowling. Their bowling is not that great, especially in the power play. The first 10 overs, they're unable to pick up wickets, and in the last 10 overs, they concede quite a few runs towards the end. And that's what happened against Netherlands and Canada, both times when you really think about it. Yeah, so to look at the first game that they played against Canada, USA, they didn't bowl that great. It was a 45 over game from a 50 over game, but Canada scored 231 for 8 in the 45 overs. Yeah, the opening partnership was like 77, and USA were unable to pick up wickets. Yeah, they weren't giving a lot of runs, but they were not able to pick up the wickets, and Canada got off to a pretty good start. But in the middle phase, USA did well to pick up quite a few wickets, and at one point Canada were like 160 for 7, and this is where the death bowling is a concern. The last overs bowling, USA gave a lot of runs. Ritwik Apidi, he got a debut match, which was good for him. He got a wicket as well, but unfortunately, in the last over he bowled, he gave like 20 runs to Akil Kumar. Akil Kumar nearly scored a 50, and that's why Canada got to 231 when at one point 200 seemed a question mark. So I thought that was a lot of runs they conceded, USA. And Ehsan Adil, he bowled really well. He got 3 wickets. He was good. He kept the scoreboard tight, but yeah, at the end, 232 was a daunting total to chase in 45 overs, considering it's in King City, which is not a very batting-friendly ground. But thankfully, USA were able to do really well and chase it down in 40 overs itself, 39.5 to be precise. They only lost 2 wickets, scored 235 for 2. Shehan Jayasuriya was awesome. He was a bit lucky. He was dropped once by Zahid Shirzad. But apart from that, he played brilliant, made 113 not out, was awesome. And speaking of Shazad, he got the 2 wickets early. He got Smith and Monang Patel out early. And USA were in trouble at 48 for 2. But yeah, Shehan was awesome with the century. And even Saiteja Mukamala was excellent. He made an 80 not out as well, was brilliant. And that partnership between Saiteja Mukamala and Shehan Jayasuriya was awesome. It was over 185 runs, if my math is correct. So that was brilliant to see because they took on the bowling when it mattered. They were able to get the singles, rotate the strike, and comfortably win it at the end for the US when it was a bit tricky initially. So it was a great start to the tri-series, winning against Canada. However, against Netherlands, well, USA continued to be cursed against Netherlands in cricket. I was going to title the video as USA cursed against Netherlands in cricket, but at the same time, they did qualify for the ODI Cricket World Cup qualifier for next year's ODI World Cup. That's why I thought we'll give it a more positive title rather than a negative title. And the reason being is Netherlands managed to win the game despite only scoring 196 for 8 in their 50 overs. And the crazy thing is, the last 2 overs, USA conceded 33 runs. And this is what I was saying. The end overs bowling is a problem for the US. Yeah. I mean, the start as well, they didn't get a wicket for like 20 overs. Yeah, the Netherlands were unable to score runs because the pitch wasn't that easy for batting. It was clearly a nightmare pitch. Max O'Dowd was a top scorer throughout the game, and he scored 59 runs of 111 deliveries. That is utterly ridiculous. That just shows what kind of a surface they played on, and that was pretty bad for batting, but a good bowling pitch. Yeah, the USA, they couldn't get wickets early on, and again, Netherlands, they were set to score 220, 225, but they were able to pick up the wickets, USA, and at one point it seemed like Netherlands should not even get more than 175. But then Bas de Leede, of course, this guy, he is a menace for US cricket. Yeah, of course, I'm sorry, I'm just being a bit too biased and upset at him, but he's doing what he has to do for Netherlands. Yeah, Bas de Leede, he played a really, really important cameo, made a quick fire 36 at the end, and that was a game changer. Even Alex Roy at number 10 scored a quick 14 runs. He was out. Ehsan Adil got his wicket off of a no ball, which was very disappointing because if that was out, Netherlands would have been 9 down for like 168 or 7, whatever the score was at that moment. And, you know, potentially Ehsan Adil could have cleaned up the last batter as well, could have got him out, and they would not be chasing more than 175, which is what USA got all out for when they were chasing down the score. And this is the problem as well. USA, they are good at batting. The batting is their strength, and I know this was a difficult pitch, but 197, they should have chased it down. Yeah, in this game, really the end bowling and the batting towards the end was a complete disaster. I mean, USA did lose Smith Patel early, and then Monang Patel, he looked fine. He had a bit of luck. It seemed like he would take advantage of that luck he had and, you know, score 50 plus innings and help USA get over the line for a victory. But then he has to play an aggressive shot to Aryan Dutt, who was awesome throughout this game. Even Harmeet Singh was great for USA, but Aryan Dutt, who was looking so dangerous with the ball, he played a maiden against him, and he couldn't hold on, and he had to try and hit a maximum, and he got out caught. It was so unnecessary, that wicket. Then Shehan Jayasuriya and Saiteja Mukamala, they had another partnership. Unfortunately, it didn't last very long, unlike the game against Canada. Then yeah, Saiteja got out for 23, and then Shehan Jayasuriya was out for 34. Then Milind Kumar and Shubham Ranjana, they had the partnership. It was looking fine. They needed just another 52 to win. And then all of a sudden, against Carl Klein, Milind Kumar, he as well. Why was he trying to play such an aggressive shot against him? And the thing was, it was there to be hit as well. He didn't put all his effort into it. If he had tried to hit it for a 6, it could have gone for 4. And he would have still been not out, and probably USA would have gone on to win. But that wicket just opened the door, and then Sanjay Krishnamurti gets out for 0. And then Shubham Ranjana gets out a few overs later. And all of a sudden, Carl Klein picked up 3 wickets when he struggled initially. And then Harmeet Singh, he played so many dot balls, but I could understand that he wanted to see out the danger ballers for the Netherlands. But then he gets out for 5. And that pretty much sealed the deal for the Netherlands to go on to win. Ehsan Adil and Netravalkar, they did hit a couple of boundaries. Well, they had to make up for all the runs they gave towards the end. In the last 2 overs, they gave those 33 runs, which really costed the US. So they had to try and make up for that, and they couldn't, because Ehsan Adil got out trying to hit him maximum. But he had to, because the required run rate was going towards 10. And at the end, USA lost by 21 runs, chasing 197. It was an absolute disappointment, because USA, they really had the game, and then they just blew it. And then the follow-up game, Canada beat Netherlands. Yeah, Canada, the reason why they won is because they played it smarter compared to the US. I don't know, I don't think the surface was as bad as the game when Netherlands and USA played, but Netherlands, they got all out for 214 in the 48 overs. Yeah, Scott Edwards, he made a 50 that day. Against USA, though, he was out for a diamond duck. And that's the thing, USA's fielding was good that day. It was just the last couple overs bowling and then the batting towards the end completely ruined and just basically gave up the game to the Dutch. Whereas Canada, when Scott Edwards and Roelof van der Merwe had a great partnership, it looked like Netherlands was set to score 230 to 240. But then Canada picked up 5 wickets quickly towards the end and made Netherlands all out with 2 overs to spare, which gave Canada more hope to chase on 215. And Canada were 33 for 4. It looked like Netherlands were going to comfortably win the game, but then there was a great partnership between Shreyas Mova and Harsh Thakur. And that partnership seemed to completely revive Canada's hopes to win the game. And yeah, Harsh Thakur did get out, and Nicholas Curtin got out, actually got away earlier. But then another wicket fell. And then Akil Kumar, he was really good. He made another 25 runs. But then he got out, Sadman Zafar got out. But Shreyas Mova, he stayed there till the end, and that's why the USA lagged against Netherlands that day. The batter who was set was unable to stay till the end. Like Mova, he made 83 not out. Harsh Thakur made 50, but he did get out. But Mova staying not out till the end gave Canada the hope that they will win the game. And Kalim Sana, he did his bit, scoring a quick 515 and especially hitting the 6 to win the match, which was awesome to see. And Canada getting a surprise win over the Dutch. However, USA did make up for it by beating Canada a second time as well. That was probably the game of the tri-series, because 275 was not enough at King City, which is quite shocking, to be honest. Because King City, as I did mention, not the best batting conditions. However, that day it seemed like it was decent for batting. And USA's problems, they continued. Power play, giving a lot of runs. Yeah, Yuvraj Samar, he seemed like a man on a mission until he got out for 52. But yeah, the way he was playing, it seemed like he was going to go score a 70 to 80 ball century and completely just take the game away from US. But thankfully, they managed to get him out. Nicholas Curtin scored 53. He had a bit of luck, but yeah, he was in terrible form coming into this tri-series. He got a 50. Harsh Thakur scored 47. Akil Kumar scored some quick runs again. Pargat Singh, Matthew Spores had starts. So it was just a disastrous bowling effort from USA, could say overall. They let Canada score 275 for 8 in 50 overs. The last over from Netravalkar was good, actually. He managed to pick up 2 wickets. There were 3 wickets in total with the run out. I think just the last ball going for 4, though, was probably the unfortunate part, but otherwise, considering in the previous game against the Netherlands, Netravalkar gave 16 runs, where he conceded 2 sixes to Bas de Leda, which really costed USA. In this game against Canada in the last over, he just gave 6 runs in total. So, yeah, I could say he potentially saved a few runs, which was very important because USA were in trouble again early on. I don't know what the number 48 was throughout the series for the US, but it was a cursed number because Monang Patel or Smith Patel was getting out at 48 runs. The second wicket always fell down at the score of 48 for the US. I don't know what it was with the number. And then even Sateja Mukamala, he didn't score a lot of runs in this game. He was out for 19. And Shehan was out early too. So USA were 3 down for 67 early on. It looked a bit tricky. And then Mukamala and Milind Kumar had a partnership, but it was Milind Kumar who did most of the work. And yeah, Mukamala, he didn't really get going in the innings, but Milind Kumar and Shubham Ranjana, they had a wonderful partnership. And it seemed like they would comfortably take USA home to victory. Milind Kumar was playing really well. He had quite a few sixes, and he had a strike rate over 100 for quite some time, but then he played quite a few dot balls towards that middle to end phase. And at the end, he scored a brilliant 100. I'm not going to take that away from him. He played a really good innings of 111 of 125 not out. But he slowed down quite a lot. Even Shubham Ranjane, he made a good 50. But that's the problem. When it was a runner ball, they played quite a few dot balls against Shahzad. And even like Saad bin Zafar, who was giving runs earlier on, he balled good in that phase. Even Akil Kumar was great. And at the end, 5 overs to go, they needed 37. And then Shubham Ranjana got out to Kalim Sana. And Sanjay Krishnamurti, I mean, he initially was very bad. He played 5 dots to make it a wicket maiden in the 46th over. It seemed that Canada would win. because 37 runs in 4 overs is very difficult in King City. And it came down to 15 of the final over. It just seemed like Canada got the win. USA couldn't get it, but then Sanjay Krishnamurti, he hit a 6 when it mattered, and then the last ball, 2 runs. They got the 2 runs. I mean, that was a crazy call on the field, and this is something which I hope ICC can implement in the future. Even in high stakes associate cricket, can you please have third umpire? Even if you're not able to give DRS, please give third umpire, because that run out was very close to call. I don't know if that was a correct decision, because in the replays it seemed like Sanjay Krishnamurti was out, but at the same time it seemed that he reached on time, and that was such a tricky decision, and the umpire gave not out, which really helped out, because if that was out, it would have gone to a super over, which you never know what can happen. But thankfully umpire gave not out, and the 2 runs counted, and USA managed to get the win of the final delivery. They got the win off the final delivery, which was very crazy, one of the craziest games, and that's why ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 is awesome. But sadly, that turned out to be the final game of this tri-series, because the last 2 games of the tri-series, the second meeting between USA and Netherlands, that was completely washed out. There was not a single ball balled, no toss as well. So USA, they may be on top of the table in ICC Cricket World Cup League 2, and they may have been the first team to officially guarantee a top 4 spot in ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 and qualify for the 2027 ODI Cricket World Cup Qualifier, but they are the only team in amongst the other 6 or 7 teams, rather, apart from the Netherlands, to have not beat Netherlands. Every other team, whether it be Nepal, UAE, Canada, Oman, Scotland, and Namibia, all of them have beaten Netherlands at least once in this ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 cycle. Everyone but the US. The US still haven't beaten Netherlands in ODI cricket. In fact, it just seems like the Netherlands have USA's number in cricket. The only time USA managed to win was earlier this year in the T20 World Cup, so probably USA can beat Netherlands in a big event, and hopefully they do that in a Cricket World Cup qualifier. Maybe next year they do that. If they face off against the Netherlands, that would be a pretty important time to pick up the first win against Netherlands in ODI cricket. And if that's the case, then great. Because USA, they need to beat Netherlands. Even Canada beat Netherlands in this tri-series. Even UAE, who are clearly at the bottom of the table, so far away from pretty much every other team, even they have beaten Netherlands once in the cycle, but USA were unable to do so. At least they did get a point against the Dutch, thanks to rain. And that was the first time for USA in this Cricket World Cup League 2 cycle where a match ended in a no result for them, because every game they've played before that, they had a result, whether they won or lost a game. But this was the first time where they were given a point, or they were denied a point. If they beat the Netherlands, they would have got 2 points, but at the same time could not be too upset because they managed to get a point from that. So they got 5 points from the 4 games in this tri-series, which, if you ask me, I would say pretty okay with the performance. Netherlands, well, yeah, of course, they had a game against Canada, so I don't even know why they played the game. They only played 4.1 overs, and Netherlands were 15 for 1, and it was apparently deemed as a dangerous pitch, and they couldn't play on any further. I was surprised that they even played any games in the first place, or any overs in the first place, because if the pitch was deemed dangerous after just 25 deliveries, why didn't they just make the decision half an hour earlier to say that the pitch is too dangerous to play on, and not even have a single delivery played? Should have just abandoned the game, just like how they did the Netherlands-USA game. But nonetheless, if you're the Netherlands will be a bit disappointed because they could only pick up 4 points from the 4 games. Yeah, they did get a win against the US, but they had a stunning loss against Canada. And then 2 no results gave them only 4 points in this tri-series. And Canada, they only got 3 points. They did manage to beat the Netherlands, and they got no result against them, but they lost to the US twice, and they failed to beat the US in 6 meetings in this Cricket World Cup League 2 cycle. So those are my thoughts for this tri-series that just happened. Yeah, if you've watched the video till here, thank you so much for just hearing me ramble on for 20 minutes. And as I do say, I like to keep this like a podcast style. I don't have the budget for, better quality, but I like to just speak out my thoughts out loud, and I just have a good time doing so. And ICC Cricket World Cup League 2, it's a great associate league because games just go to the wire. They're thrilling and they're awesome whenever they happen. So that'll be it. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Until the next video, bye.